Okay, so thank you everybody for coming on to our webinar today. So this is the third in the series of our Power of Power Platform webinar series. Today we're going to be talking about waitlist optimization and patient referrals. So just before we start, just a few housekeeping rules on here. So this session is going to be recorded. All attendees will be on mute and the cameras will be off as well for attendees. If you do have any questions or comments, please do put them in the chat and one of the DigPacks or Microsoft team will be able to reply, or if you'd like to reply to each other as well, that's absolutely fine too. So for the agenda for today, we're going to do a quick intro into DigPacks and the Microsoft Healthcare team. Then we're going to go into why waitlist optimization and patient referrals benefit from using the Power Platform. We'll then be showing and talking about some of the benefits of the DigPacks solutions for waitlist optimization and patient referrals. We will reference some customers within that as well. And then we'll just summarize at the end with the remaining webinars in the series, and we'll have a summary and a close. So your speakers today, it's myself. So my name is Karen. I am the head of customer success at DigPacks. My colleague Josh will be joining me. He's the head of automation and AI. Also my colleague Mihai Jakob, and he is the one of our Power Platform developers. And then we also have Mehmet from Microsoft, who is a BizApp solution specialist too. Okay, so a quick intro into DigPacks. So we were founded in 2019. We emerged from the rising demand for leveraging low-code or no-code technologies as well. So we provide Power Platform apps, automations, pages, Copilot solutions. We work in collaboration with the NHS, and we have worked with over 30 NHS Trusts to deliver value through the Power Platform as well. Some of you may know some of our solutions from the NHS England store. So we are healthcare focused as well. That is the majority of the industries that we focus on here at DigPacks. We are local, so all of our colleagues are permanent hires. We operate in the UK and our main office is in Hatfield. And we are a trusted partner to Microsoft. We are a Microsoft certified solutions partner. And as mentioned previously, we work with NHS England and Microsoft, and we work collaboratively together. So just going on to that a little bit more. So like I said, some of you may know our solutions from the NHS England store. Currently, we have 5 apps up there at the moment, but we are in the process of onboarding another 5 apps. And some of them you would have seen from some of the webinars that they've done, some of them that you would have seen from some of the webinars that we have done as well. So just to give you a flavour of some of the Power Platform solutions that we have created, like I said, that are available in the NHS store or available directly through us, we put them into 3 main areas of compliance, workforce and AR, and operations stroke clinical as well. So some of these that you may have seen before, some of these you may be using as well. So within compliance, we have apps for DPIA, document management, and automations for referrals. Within workforce and HR, some of you may be aware and using our asset booker, so that's desk booking and car park booking spaces solution. There's a staff hub, which has lots of different HR functionality in there, including appraisals and onboarding and joiners, movers, leavers. And within the operations, we have other solution areas such as vaccination hub and e-observations too. Just wanted to put some of our clients up there, some of our trusts that you may know, that you may be aware of, you may work for, indeed, just to show you the kind of breadth of trust that we work with. Now at DigPacks, we offer many different services, and we are very, very flexible with the service that you are wanting and that we can actually provide for you. But I wanted to just let you know some information about a new service that we are providing, which is a managed service. Now, this managed service is born out of requirements of our clients to actually become more of a strategic collaborative partner and be able to offer services and augment internal teams for creation of Power Platform solutions. So if you have a backlog of solutions that you might not have the capacity for, you may not have the resource for, or potentially the skill sets for, we can offer this service for you. So basically, we're kind of like an extension of your team. It's 45 hours a month, and that can include solution development as well as access to all of those features that you see on the right, which is the support. You get access to a portal, knowledge base, there's training and development, there's Power Platform components as well. And you also get access to our catalogue of applications as well that you are able to install and download, or we can for you. It's a very scalable service as well. So if you needed to add on hours for the entire year, or if you wanted to add on hours as you go per month as well. There'll be more information about this service coming out either on LinkedIn, or we'll be doing another webinar for it. But I just wanted to give you a bit of a sneak preview into that type of service for backlog solution creation that we are going to be launching soon. Okay, so I'm now going to hand over to my colleague Mehmet, who is going to be talking about why choosing the Power Platform for waitlist optimization and patient referrals.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. So, yes, as Karen stated, this is the third webinar of the series. And when we started working on this series, we wanted to have a specific one for referrals, because it directly affects the patient's outcomes and efficiency within the trusts. So, like, when we were preparing on this, we came across some very interesting numbers. And there are now almost 7.5 million open cases in the waiting list across UK. And this makes approximately 3.6 million people waiting for treatment. And over 3 million of these patients actually waiting more than 18 weeks. So then, but why it's so complicated and hard to manage it? So most of the trusts rely on the paper-based processes, and systems are extremely disjointed, and manually logging referrals and relying on spreadsheets and tracking through spreadsheets actually causing the problems. And of course, transferring patient information between departments often requires repetitive data entry, which leads actually errors and longer processing time. And so that's where actually Power Platform comes into the picture, because it will help trusts by streamlining the manual processes, enabling self-service tools for patients to manage their referrals by themselves. And it will also enhance the visibility into patient data, so that you know which patient that you should be prioritizing based on the healthcare they need. And also in terms of optimizing the resource allocation and automating workflows, and also providing real-time insights, will help trusts to manage the waiting lists and referrals in a better way. And we actually have real-life examples across trusts in the UK using our solutions to overcome these challenges. And all of those will be showcased by presenters today. So with that, I will give the mic to Josh.
Excellent. Thank you, Mehmet. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Is that coming through for everybody? I can get thumbs up from perfect. Okay. So hi there, everybody. My name is Josh Davey. I think I know quite a few people on the calls. I won't bore you, but I'm the head of automation at DigPacks, as Karen has flagged. And today we're going to be looking at two referral processing solutions that we've built in collaboration with Berkshire Healthcare. You can see there's many Berkshire Healthcare folks on the call, so good to have you here. For this first one, we are looking at referral migrations for the integrated pain and spinal service team. And bit of context, Berkshire Healthcare for the iPass team had a scenario where external GP-based referrals were coming through into the electronic referral service, but the trust required them to be moved into their EPR of choice, Rio, for processing. So we ended up devising a solution to solve this. Originally, the process was demanding around about 15 minutes per referral to transfer. So this is the process of taking it out of ERS and putting it into Rio. And this was being done by admin staff members. The volume was fairly high. They were looking at around about 14,000 referrals for just that one service per annum. And given the nature of the process itself, multiple sets of eyes were necessary to avoid any human-related errors. Anytime you've got a highly repetitive manual task, that's something you need to be cognizant of. So in terms of the solution then, it polled ERS looking for new referrals that had come through, and it was looking against, I think it's about 7 different RAS pots inside of ERS. And upon finding a new referral, it would work to download all of the corresponding attachments and also retrieve any triage details out of ERS. With that data available then, it moved over to Rio and navigated into the patient record, created a referral, transferred it to the corresponding team, added a progress note, which isn't listed here. Then it would go into Envoy Post and create a waitlist letter for that referral and that patient before finally going back into ERS and cancelling the original referral out of the ERS system. So the end state was that they'd had a referral that came into ERS, it's been entirely lifted and shifted into Rio, and the original referral's cancelled in ERS. So it's in a state that somebody can start working it. In terms of the benefits then, as you can imagine, with 14,000 referrals per annum, there's a fairly significant time save, especially since this was being done manually in the first instance. It worked on a priority-based system, helping to ensure that SLAs were met without fail. Bots don't take breaks, they don't take time off, they don't take leave. So any backlogs were kind of managed by these bots, just working 24/7 around the clock. And due to the nature of automation, accuracy was baked in. If one of these digital workers or these bots performing this process had noticed an issue, it would stop, flag it, and it would then be picked up by a human. I do have a quick video that's just going to give you a bit of a run through about what this digital worker actually does. I'm going to play it. I'm going to apologize in advance that the music is a little cheesy. So I think as it's flagging here, this is the first stage of the solution. And again, for those of you that aren't familiar with RPA or what it does, it effectively works to emulate the actions of a human user. So this digital worker is currently looking in ERS, polling across the different RAS pots, and yeah, very good. Polling the different RAS pots, looking for new referrals that have come through. And you can see it's just found a new one that's come through. Again, to emphasize, these are, of course, test referrals. There's no live data being shown. Again, I'm going to pause it here so you can see it much like a human user would, going through, and for each of the attachments that are available inside of the referral, it is just downloading those attachments, saving them locally so that they can be transferred. It will then remove them thereafter from the local file system. If I just keep playing. So just a few things to point out here. As it's going through, we can see it navigate into the patient record, which happens around here. Once it's inside that patient record, the digital worker is performing a multi-point check. So it's searched via the NHS number. It's then cross-referencing with the patient surname here as well as their date of birth, ensuring that we've pulled out the correct NHS number and that we have accessed the appropriate patient record. If any of that wasn't met, the bot would flag it. But again, just a bit of flavor for the types of safety checks that are put in place with regards to these digital workers. And then as it goes through, you can see it navigating through to the attachment section, uploading the corresponding documents that have been pulled out of ERS, and then it moves over to the next stage, which is creating the referral. So on this bit, I'm just going to pause it quickly. You can see it going through here and actually creating that referral. All of the data that's sourced here effectively comes out of ERS from that referral that was picked up there. And following that, then it transfers it to the appropriate team. So that one probably looked a little odd, but what the bot is doing is he's using a piece of software. This is actually a desktop application this time called Envoy Post, and this is used to send snail mail, for lack of a better term, but it gets a template out of Rio for the waitlist letter, and then it's loading it into Envoy Post, and the relevant replacing has already happened in that letter template based on the patient record, and then it's adding it in and sending it across, and then this will automatically distribute that waitlist letter to the patient. Going to pause it there, but the final portion then was that part where it goes back into ERS, closes out the process, and cancels the originating referral that came through. I'm not going to go through the rest of the video. I can certainly share it separately, but the final portion is just talking through the benefits that I've already gone through. Before I go on to the next one, I can see there was a question in the chat. Is it okay, Karen, if I just answer that quickly? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, prerequisites of a web interface for automation to sit in place of a user. It's a really good question. I haven't got any collateral right now that talks to the specific prereqs associated with getting set up for RPA. Of course, there's governance and InfoSec elements that need to be considered as well. But in terms of licensing and infrastructure, you'll require a machine that's going to be used to run these digital workers, and that could be a virtual machine or a server. And you'll also need Power Automate process licensing, which will allow you to use unattended RPA. And the way it works is you will configure these, and Power Platform will send requests to that digital worker in order to run the processes that have been configured. Certainly when we can talk about it a bit further, Matthew, if you do have specific questions, feel free to reach out directly. But I'll move on to, taking a go to the website. Understood wasn't the project wrap. Maybe one to come back to. I'll finish this up and then we can chat separately. But the next one I'm going to look at is the DOMS physio referral solution. This one is similar to iPass in terms of what it does. However, it focuses on a different service and has a different ingestion mechanism. So this one isn't pulled from ERS. This one is actually picked up differently. Yeah, from a human perspective, the DOMS physio referral piece required around about 20 minutes of processing time, and this was across 6,000 referrals per year. And this one is quite unique in that it had multiple different formats that the referrals could come in as, which meant that it was fairly complex to tackle from an automation perspective. So as part of the implementation, a form was created which allowed for the data to be provided in a structured manner for us to start automating from. And this accounted for about 50% of the submissions that came through into the domiciliary service. The remaining 50% then, unfortunately, remained as PDF submissions into a centralized mailbox. But fortunately, Power Platform also has an answer to that. So we were able to leverage AI Builder to pull out the key data points from those referrals as they came through in PDF format, so that we had two sets of inputs. One was the form, nice and structured, easy to work with, and the other then was the post AI Builder data point extraction piece, which gave us what we need from those PDFs. So at this point, we've got two different data sources, but both are workable from an automation standpoint. Once the automation had pulled out the necessary data or got the relevant data, it then went into Rio, added a progress note, and then created and transferred the referral again to the relevant team. So in terms of the benefits from this one, it's very similar to the iPass solution. A lot of these referral processes are similar in terms of their benefits, at least from an RPA standpoint. So there's a significant time saving. We also saw an 85% reduction in terms of processing time, and this was robot processing time versus human processing time. And SLA adherence, as mentioned before, is enforced, and we had two separate work streams after automating this digital form and PDF input, as opposed to the myriad that were there originally. I do have another video. Unfortunately, it's got similarly cheesy music. I'm not going to play this one all the way through, though. I'm just going to skim through it. You can see here, this is an example of the form that was created and filled in and submitted. And following that, then this portion is showing what the robot actually does. This one does go into a Gov website and look up the referrals postcode, referrer's postcode, so that we can determine the locality associated with that person when creating the referral in Rio. Following that, again, navigating into Rio, authenticating with a virtual smart card, selecting the appropriate role, and then it would go ahead and access the patient record. Again, doing much the same checks I talked about previously, 3-point check, NHS number, date of birth, and surname. From there, it would go ahead and create a new referral. And once it's done that, it would upload the document, the corresponding document that we got from the email that came through. It would add a progress note, and following that, it would complete. I can share the video recording separately if anybody would like to watch them in their entirety. And at this point, I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Mihai, but I believe I'm still in control of the PowerPoint, right? So over to you.
That's right. Thank you very much, Josh. Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Mihai Jakob. I'm a Power Platform developer, focusing mostly on Power Pages solutions at DigPacks. Yeah, so as the previous slide implies, we've been looking at the problem of the NHS waiting list that has been in the news recently as well. So we know, and this has been mentioned already, the NHS waiting list has hit 7.48 million in November 2024. There's about 6.2 million individual patients waiting for treatment. About 3 million of those will be looking at wait times of between 18 to 56 weeks for care. But we do recognize that in some circumstances, some patients will no longer need to be on the wait list, but there is no simple and easy way for them to maybe opt out or confirm that they still want to be on the waiting list. So we were looking for a solution to help us identify patients who no longer need to be on the waiting list, so that we could hopefully work to shorten wait lists and potentially reduce waiting times for patients. If I could ask you to go to the next slide, please, Josh. Thank you. Yeah, so as I was mentioning, we've worked on a Power Pages solution to provide a single unified interface for waitlist management. Being built in Power Pages and leveraging Power Platform and the Dataverse, there is the potential for integration with your EPR or APRs of choice. We're able to provide proactive patient reminders for confirmation on waitlist status and but we do have the ability to confirm and decline patient waitlist eligibility, allowing patients to log into Power Pages, into the Power Pages site. We're hoping that using this will reduce waitlist and create a more streamlined and better patient journey. And leveraging Power Pages, again, we can trigger any internal processes as need be based on portal actions that the users make. So now I'm going to share my screen very quickly so I can give you a quick demo of the solution itself. All right, I'm just going to share my screen. And if I could just confirm that you are able to see this. Yep, lovely. Thank you very much. Great. Okay, so this is the landing page of the portal that we've built. We use this as a way to navigate throughout the site, either using these cards or using the navigation bar up top. We have a number of options for different pages that we can navigate to. For the purposes of the demo today, we're going to focus on the waitlist management, waitlist optimization piece. But as you can see, there is the potential of integrating multiple services into the same portal. As this portal is currently in development, as I go through and after we do welcome any feedback, any suggestions for how we could improve it. Just one final thing before I move on. I just wanted to show you very quickly that this portal is also responsive. So regardless of the size of the device that the patient uses, it can be seen on a tablet, it can be used on a mobile phone as well. So regardless of how your patients want to get into this portal, they will be able to do so. Now, if I move on to the waitlist, so this is the waitlist. This is the waitlist page. We have a little header up top, some description about what the page does. All of these can be customized fairly easily depending on customer needs. Next up, we have this little dashboard, I like to call it. So there are 3 tiles which allow us to just at a quick glance see what we have pending, what we have declined, and what we've confirmed. This is a fairly responsive dashboard, and you'll see that as I work with the functionality below, these will change. So moving onwards, this is the waitlist table, and this is where the patient will be able to see what waitlists they are currently on. So the table has a number of columns, procedure name, a waitlist confirmed column. So this is where it tells us whether the waitlist is pending, whether it's been confirmed by the patient, whether it's been declined, and so on. Hospital, referrer, reference number. Once again, these can be customized. We can add extra fields, we can remove fields, fairly easy to customize. And then we have this this number of menu buttons on the right-hand side, which allows the patient to interact with their waitlist. So I have a hernia surgery here, and it's currently pending. So let's say that I would like to confirm this. I would like to stay on the waiting list. If I just hit that button, we have a little pop-up here which asks us whether we're sure we want to do this. And this is mostly designed so that patients don't do any actions that they didn't necessarily intend to do. But if I'm sure I want to confirm the wait list, I will just click this button, and there we go. My hernia surgery has been confirmed. confirm button has disappeared. So it's all good. Just very quickly refresh the page. You can also see this dashboard updating with a 1 confirmed. Now, on the same note, let's imagine that on e-surgery, maybe we've just gone private with that. We don't really want to do that anymore, to be on that wait list. We can just as easily go and decline it. Same sort of thing, pop up. Am I sure I want to decline it? Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and decline that. And this has also been updated now. As you can see, the confirm and the decline button has disappeared. The idea being that once you've declined your place on a waiting list, ideally you shouldn't be able to go back and confirm it or anything like that. And similarly, let's say on the decline or on the confirmed, if there are any processes that we want to trigger in the back end, then we can attach those processes to a decline event or a confirm event and do extra checks or get a human to interact with that waitlist record or anything like that. The third button that we have here is the View Details button. So all of the records have this. And this is yet another pop-up where we are able to display any extra information that we haven't displayed in the list itself. This can, once again, be customized to needs, depending on what we want users to be able to see in here. This is currently just a read-only list. So users can only read the data, but if we want to give them the ability to maybe interact with some fields, maybe add some extra details in there, then absolutely we can also do that. Okay. Now, a few other bits of functionality, I guess, of this list. First of all, we can sort the list using any of these columns. Just like that, and the list sorts automatically. And we can also search. So any bits of data that we have in each column, we can go and search based off of that. So if I just want to search for my knee surgery here based on reference number, there we go. We are able to do that. Okay, and as I was interacting with my wait lists, you will see here that we have another table, and this is an audit sort of table. Every time a patient interacts with their wait list, whether they confirm or they decline their place on the wait list, a waitlist history record is being created. So this is for us to be able to maybe keep track of, when has a patient declined or confirmed their wait list. Again, we have a View Details pane where we have some extra bits of information so that it allows a trust to maybe keep track of what's been happening on the portal, and maybe someone in the back office can also go and check in case there are any questions or any issues. Okay, and as I was mentioning, this page is also functional on a mobile. However, for some reason, okay, there we go. There we go. This is what the page would look like on a mobile. So we have the navigation up front, up top. We have various bits of data. We have our dashboard. The list here, as you can see, we have taken away a number of columns just because this list is scrollable horizontally. The more columns you have, the more difficult it is to get to your menu here and interact with your wait list. Same for the wait list history. We've taken a number of columns out. Okay, right, and this is the wait list functionality. Now, if I very quickly just sign out here, I'd like to show you how we could get a patient to get into the portal and what the journey would be like. So in the back end, using Power Automate, I've built a little automation which goes into the system, and it looks for people who have pending wait lists. And based off of that, each patient will get an email very similar to this to say that our records show that you're yet to confirm your place in the following NHS lists, and here's a list of all of the ones that you have pending. If you want to confirm or decline that you want to stay on the wait list, then the patient will get a link here, which they can access by clicking on it, and they'll be taken to the same page. Now, when they get to this page, they have two options. They can either sign in if they have an existing account, or they can register if they don't have an account. So for registration, we're asking patients to provide an email, their NHS number, and their date of birth, just to make sure that the patient is who they say they are. So the patient would go and put in some details here. So here's an email address. Here is we'll just put an NHS number like so, and let's put a date of birth of, let's say, 1st of May 2000, something like that. Put a password in. Okay, and we click register. Oh, okay, so we couldn't actually match the details because maybe the NHS number isn't correct or the date of birth isn't correct. So if I go and just add something else for an NHS number, potentially the correct NHS number, then the system will let us register. So this is just to, I guess, do some validation beforehand to make sure that the user is who they say they are, and we don't just let anyone get into the portal. Now, assuming I have all of the details correct, click register, and the portal will let the user register. Once you log in for the first time, you're redirected to the profile page. So the profile page is a page where we can give the user a bit of information about themselves and just make sure that we have all of the information necessary about them, and potentially give them the opportunity to maybe change something. So we have these few fields here. So the NHS number and the date of birth, they have been matched. They came through to the profile page, and we're just going to fill in the first name and the last name of the user. And we have some options for controlling how we want to be contacted by the organization. So let's say I don't really want to be contacted via fax and mail. I'll just untick those. And we have some other options here for changing password and changing email of the account and so on. Now, if I just very quickly hit update, once we've updated and we're happy with the information we've provided, then the portal automatically takes us to the waitlist. So we're not going to the home page. I've tried to keep it as streamlined as possible so that the users can, the users don't have to do as many clicks as possible. There is nothing in this account because I've just created this account, but in a normal live scenario, there would be some data here that the user can start to interact with straight away. And this is the end of my demo. I just have one more slide, and that's it for me. So I'm going to stop sharing. If I could just ask Karen to share the screen for me, please. Share the thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, so for the last part of my presentation, I just wanted to show you that whilst we have the Power Pages side of things and we're able to let the patient interact with their data and their wait lists as needed, we're also able to build a solution in the back end to allow admin staff or whoever is responsible for wait lists to manage it their end, because sometimes we may have cases where patients aren't really able to log into a portal. They maybe don't really have the IT knowledge necessary to create an account. Maybe they don't have an email address or so on and so forth. We could also build something, some sort of an application in the backend using Power Platform to allow admin staff to maybe take calls and create wait lists, confirm them on behalf of the patient, decline them on behalf of the patient, and fill in any information as necessary to support the back office side of things and all of those processes. That's it. Thank you very much. That's the end of my demo and presentation.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mihai. Over to you, Mehmet, to talk about the types of programs that Microsoft can offer for the Power Platform.
Thank you, Karen. So yes, please reach out to us. We are 3 people at Microsoft covering NHS Trust. Actually, we have one more joiner. Aoife joined us. So Karen, we should add Aoife in the next one. And as I said, we are covering different territories across UK. So if you can reach any of us, we are happy to connect you with the right resources within the Microsoft. And we have some programs that we are providing for our clients. So there are 2 types of fundings that you can apply for. These are all up for approval, of course, but we are doing everything to support public healthcare organization in the UK. So the first one is pre-sales fundings. There are two types of it. The first one is low code vision and value. The idea is to come together with your stakeholders to determine at least 3 use cases that you want to bring to life with Power Platform. And then we work together with you to quantify this investment by business value assessment. So we will show actually what is the return on investment on the whole Power Platform adoption. And this low-code governance strategy is a very hot topic when it comes to governance because no one wants everyone is going ahead and creating apps, which could actually create chaos. So this, as far as I remember, can go up to $18K for workshop. And you can, by the way, use multiple workshops at the same time, as well as one trust. And post-sales fundings, we have the deployment accelerator. You again will work with our partners to bring the applications that you determined in the envisioning session. Also, when it comes to pricing, we have MOU, the discounted pricing for NHSE. This is the agreement with NHSE and Microsoft directly. So you don't have to get Power Apps premium licensing for everyone within the trust. You just need to have some minimum percentages of the licenses premium. And then we have a new SKU just created for NHS Trust across UK, and it's quite discounted. So we are happy to have the discussion with you if you reach out to us. And of course, this was mentioned throughout the webinar. We have Power Platform Solutions Store. There are a lot of ready-made solutions there, mostly made by DigPacks, and they are available for central tenant and local tenant trust to download and use. So that's all me. Thank you, everyone.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Mehmet. And just wanted to finish on a special offer that we have from DigPacks at the moment. So we are offering a half-day Power Platform app support for just £99. The offer is valid until the end of February, and the hours need to be used by the end of March. So it's a 3-hour session. That can be the hours, anything after that, the hours will be charged at the standard rate. But the consultation can involve anything from kind of walking through the app catalog, looking at best practice advice, and any support with installation. So if you'd like to take up that offer, you can see the QR code on there. It just sends an email to me, just putting your contact details. We'll be more than happy to have a chat with you about that. I'll just leave that up there for just a few more minutes. Just if you'd like to take that QR code down. Okay, so thanks very much for attending this third in our Power Platform webinar series. Apologies if you only got the joining instructions yesterday. I think there was some error there, but thank you very much for coming on and attending today. So here's some few more dates that we have for the diary. Previously, we were going to show some solutions for finance, but we're actually going to change this to Copilot Studio now for Wednesday, the 19th of February. You can see the QR code on the side here that will take you through to the registration page for the different webinars that we have on the website. Just click in the one that you want to look at and you will be able to register. A week after that, we have governance and automation. So that's looking at DLPs, connectors, reviews in the admin center, the best practice as well when it comes to the governance. And then the final solution, final webinar, sorry, in the series that we have, but we'll probably be adding on some more as we go, is for compliance and auditing. So, like I said, once again, thank you very much for attending the webinar. If you would like to contact any of the speakers today, please do feel free. You can see all of our email addresses there as well. We're also on LinkedIn. If you check and you just put into DigPacks into the search, you'll be able to find us.